Soros and welcome back to another episode of my FIFA 16 Paris Saint-Germain career mode season 4 episode September. Alongside me today is our special guest Downey 2010. Don't mind him, he's just playing his game at the moment and we're currently in a party, so if you do hear him in the background and it is slightly annoying, I do apologise, but fuck you, that's my best friend, so don't chat shit about him. No, I'm sorry, I just wild out there. So it's going to be an interesting episode. I've got wonderful company. So he said it's cool to have him in the video, and you know, if he wants to get involved with some of the conversations, he's more than welcome to, but he's probably just going to continue playing Fallout 4. So without further ado guys, let's get started because we've got plenty to be talking about. First thing I want to bring to your attention is the table at the moment in the Liga. So currently at number 1 is AS Monaco, number 2 is Toulouse, number 3 is LOSC Lille, number 4 is EA Guingamp, and number 5 is Olympique Marseille. Unfortunately for my club, we are in number 10, so we are definitely not, we haven't got the momentum that we wanted in the beginning of the season, and we're off to a rough start. And as you can see right there, after 3 games, we've only got 1 win, 1 draw and 1 loss. Definitely not like PSG. However, we have scored at least 5 goals, conceded 3, with a goal difference of 2 and only 4 points. So that's just what I wanted to bring to your attention, and let's move on to the next trophy. Now, as you're already aware, we did lose to Lions in the Trophée Champ, and they defeated us 2-0. So I'm so glad that we never transferred Ben Yedder back to that squad. Otherwise, we probably would have had our asses handed to us on a plate. Moving on to the Coupe Nationale, we do not have the round of 16 clubs just yet, but we will be talking about that in just a second. For the Coupe de Ligue, same applies as the Coupe Nationale. But once again, we are going to be talking about that in just a second. Then there is the Champions Trophy, which we thankfully won in the finals against Torino. And funny enough, we won that trophy, the pre-season tournament trophy, with a very mixed squad, so to speak. Our best players was out on international duty, so we just had to play with what little players we had, and it seemed to work out for us because I was just experimenting with different formations, tactics, player positions, and it worked out in the end. And hopefully with all the muddling, I have finally come up with a squad that is suitable for our style of play. Then the Copa Europe was a trophy that we were not involved in since we didn't win the Champions Cup and we didn't win the Europa League. FC Bayern defeated Manchester United 2-1, our European rivals, and as well as our favourite squad in the world. And moving on to the next trophy, we do have the Champions Cup. Now we have found out who has qualified for the group stage. And the following teams are in the following groups. But before I get into that, I would just like to welcome one of my subscribers, Jesper, who has joined us today. He has said hi to you, mate. I hope you're doing well. Please sit back, get your feet up, grab some popcorn, get yourself a drink and relax and enjoy the show. So in Group A of this year's Champions Cup, we have Manchester City, Atletico Madrid, PSV and FC Copenhagen. Now, I do apologise because some of these clubs and player names I do struggle with pronouncing, so if it does sound a little bit funny or wrong, you can either correct me or just laugh at me. It's completely up to you. But once again, I do apologise. Group B, we have Juventus, FC Porto, Olympique Lyonnais and FC Basel. Group C, we've got Barcelona, Napoli, Besiktas and Lokomotiv Moscow. Group D is Arsenal, Inter Milan, Sporting CP and Celtic. Or is it Celtic? Downey, back me up. I know this one. Is it Celtic or Celtic? Irish team. Celtic. I thought as much. Thank you, dude.
Celtic.
Who cares? Let's just move on. Group E, we've got Manchester United, Mönchengladbach, Galatasaray and Feyenoord. Group F, we have ourselves, PSG, Borussia Dortmund, Zenit and Club Brugge. Now, how I feel about this group, not the strongest group, but at the same time, not the weakest. I mean, Borussia Dortmund and Zenit are very strong squads. Club Brugge, they must be pretty good, as they did qualify for the, the group stage of this Champions Cup. So we're just going to have to see what happens. Group G, we've got FC Bayern, Real Madrid, Spartak Moscow, and Panathinaikos. Wow, that's a long-ass name. Group H is Chelsea, Bayer 04, Villarreal CF, and LOSC Lille. And that is it, guys. That is your Champions Cup for Season 4. Moving on to the Europa League, by the looks of things. We have plenty of groups, and I'm going to quickly go through them with you of what teams have made it to the Europa League. But before I get into that, guys, we have one of my other subscribers, known as the Car Chuckle Xbox. He says, hey, how do you do, Car Chuckle? Sit back, enjoy the show, fella, and by all means, you and Jesper, who have been with me through this epic journey for a very long time, their comments is always valued with their input towards this series. So I am quite pleased that they can join me today. But in the Euro League, this year in Season 4, we have Group A, Spurs, Olympiacos, Toulouse, and IFK Göteborg. Very funny name. Sevilla FC, Genoa, SK Rapid Wine, and Lechia, oh my gosh, Gdansk. Never heard of them before. Lazio, Montpellier, Poke, and Shamrock Rovers. Group D, FC Schalke, KAA, wow. KAA Gent, RB Salzburg, and Esbjerg. Do apologise, guys. Some of these club names are really hard to pronounce here. Everton, Fiorentina, FC Groningen, and Legia Warsaw. Group F, Liverpool, Bordeaux, Vitesse, and Grasshopper. Jokes. Didn't know there was a club known as Grasshopper. Group G, Fenerbahce, SC Braga, Anti Makhachkala, Standard Liège. Group H, we've got Valencia, Aston Villa, Lech Poznan, and BSC Young Boys. Group I, we've got CSKA Moscow, Guimaraes, FC Utrecht, and Molde. Group J, Real Sociedad, Trabzonspor, Dynamo Moscow, and Dundee United. Group K is Ajax, Hamburger FC, SV, Rosenborg BK, and Aberdeen. Group L, SL Benfica, RSC Anderlecht, FC Midtjylland, and Austria Wien. And that is it, a very huge competition in the Europa League. So best of luck to those clubs. And that is it for the tables, guys. I have, for the first time ever, made a list before broadcasting of all the things I need to talk to you guys about. So please do be patient with me before we get into gameplay. I need to keep you guys informed of everything that's been going on in my career so far. Next thing to talk about is the fixtures. Now, in Season 4, I am going to be using the fixtures quite often. I do think it's a valuable feature to use, especially since I want to keep tabs with all of the games that are going to be played throughout this season, as well as who won in what competition. You know, I like to keep... I like to know what's been happening around the world. It's always interesting to find these things out, considering that there could be talented players in these individual squads who I could keep a keen eye on and perhaps add to my shortlist for the future. It's also fun to know, and I just quite like looking at results and fixtures. It's just who I am, and I'm afraid I can't change that. So you can see right there, I'm not going to go through everything, but there's the Coupe Nationale round 1. These players, these teams have yet to face each other before they decide who goes through of the round of 32. That's why it's always interesting for me to find out these fixtures, because I can see which clubs need to fight tooth and nail to get through to that round of 32. Same applies to the Coupe de Ligue. But only this case, we have finished the round 1s, and you can see right there which clubs are going through and which clubs are not. So the fixtures have been sorted out for round 2. First games starts in the 30th of October, so we're going to have to look forward to that because our first game is going to be against Marseille. Then there's the Champions Trophy, which we proudly won, as we already know that. The Copa Europe, Champions Cup, you got it right there. Who won the playoff rounds? I'm just going to scroll through this quickly for you guys. So if you want to pause it right there, you are more than welcome to. And then these are the games that are going to be happening this month. So our first game will be kicking off against the likes of Zenit. I do believe Hulk, a very popular Brazilian right winger, plays for Zenit, and somebody who I have been keeping a close eye on, and may perhaps, when I start a new career mode, sign him for my club. And then there's the Euro League qualifying rounds. You can see right there who qualified through, and there was a lot of games, guys. This is why I'm not going through every single one of them. That it would be extremely boring, and this video would be extremely long. But you can see there the games that are going to be happening in September. Now, I know the Euro League has nothing to do with us because you only play in the Euro League when you haven't qualified for the likes of the Champions Cup. That is the most important European Cup in the world. Carl Chuckle says, I want Shamrock Rovers to go through. Oh, that's a bet right there. I'll tell you what, Carl Chuckle, I will make you a deal, okay? If Shamrock Rovers go through into the and progress in the Euro League, if they make it, let's say, if they make it to the round of 32, I will let you have first dibs on the January transfer window of who I buy on pre-contracts. That's the deal right there. If Shamrock Rovers, guys, make it to round of 32, Car Chuckle gets first dibs on who I'm going to pursue in signing the first pre-contract, who will join us in Season 5. So, we've got loads of international friendlies. Now, in my career mode, I do not do international management. There's no particular reason why. I'm just a bit of a lazy player, and I just have no interest in doing the international games. Maybe in another career mode, I probably will give it a shot with England, but we're just going to have to see what happens. And that is it, guys. You know, there's the Liga fixtures. We don't really need to go through all that because those are going to be the games that we'll be mostly focusing on throughout this career mode. So that is it for fixtures, and the next point of conversation we are going to talk about next is my squad. Now, I have, off camera, sorted out this squad because it needed fixing, guys. I mean, 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 loss is not going to cut it with me. I am a manager with high expectations, and this is a 5-star squad, and so I expect the absolute best out of these players. Benzema is obviously going to be in that striking role. I couldn't loan him out during the summer transfer window, and Tevez is going to be my bench player. A bench player, to me, is a player who never gets to start the game, but he will always be on that bench for the first and second teams. So it might make him a little bit upset, but if that is going to be the case, or when the time comes where he does get upset, we will just give him some starting team play and see what happens. I mean, Tevez was just a pre-contract signing, so we only got him in our club simply just to make a profit off of him. I mean, he's worth a bit of money, but he's 34 years old, so that value is going to go down as well as his stats. So he's not going to be worth half as much as what he is now. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens in January. But to my squad, guys, we have in striking position Benzema, Neymar is on left wing, Bale on right wing, Robben on right midfield, Tielemans in cam role, Ronaldo on left midfield, Modric in that CDM role. My back three is none other than Coentrao, Silva and Hummels. And then in goal, we've got Diego Alves. For this crucial squad on the bench, we have Tevez, Beabek, Perisic, Rabiot, Stambouli, Rugani, and Romagnoli. So hopefully, just hopefully, this is going to work. So I've sorted my formation. I've even sorted the roles out, guys, in my spare time. We've got my captain Silva. Bale is going to be taking the short free kicks, the long free kick. Ronaldo will do penalties, and Bale will also take the corners. The instructions is defaulted. I have not come to terms in doing the instructions. That's just way too long and far too boring for me to do, especially since you're changing players around and swapping them over and so on and so forth. You're going to have to go back to your instructions and change them instructions as well, and that's long. I'm not going to do that. Tactics I do, and I'm going with possession football at the moment. I want to play it safe with a comfortable short passing game. So hopefully this works. If it doesn't, then we're just going to have to evaluate again. And you guys can help me. You guys can give me input as to what I could do with this squad. There's so much potential here. So by all means, please comment, and I will definitely take your comments into account and consider my options. So that is the first team. Now allow me to show you the second team, also known as my rotation squad. Almost the same formation, except we're going for a 3-4-3 flat. So in striking position, we have Bayerbeck on Gender on the left wing, Augustin on the right wing, Habran behind Augustin in that right midfield, Perisic behind on Gender in that left midfield, and Rabiot and Stambouli will pair up in centre midfield, with my back three being Digne, Romagnoli and Rugani, with Areola in goal. So on the bench we've got Tevez, Ronaldo, Bale, Robin. I don't know why Diego Alves is on there. I'm guessing this is an unfinished squad. So let's just have a look. I know Tevez is on there because he needs to cover the striking position. I know Ronaldo covers the left side of the pitch. Bale covers the right side of the pitch. Robin can cover left and right. Hummels will be my defending substitute. Modric can be my midfielder. So maybe just one more midfielder. I think it's going to have to be Tielemans to take Diego Alves' spot. So we have my two midfielders to cover the middle of the park, and Hummels will just be my supporting defender who can replace any one of three of my defenders. So that would be done right there. So the formation is done. I don't want Stambouli to be the captain of this squad. I'm thinking, you know what, that actually might not be a bad idea, but I've always assumed Bayerbeck would be a good captain. You know what, right? I think Stambouli is the oldest there. No, Perisic is the oldest. So let's give Perisic a go. Let's allow this guy to be the captain. Let's see if he can bring this second squad forward when the time is right. So free kick takers, I normally leave on default, but maybe that's the issue. So Perisic is going to do my short free kicks. Long free kick might be Perisic again, and I think it's going to have to be. Penalties, Perisic again. I think he's going to be taking everything, to be honest. Yeah, he's going to be doing all of the kick taking roles. So a lot of work will be cut out for our second squad captain. Instructions is going to be default as usual, and the tactics I'm going to go with is possession football again. I do like to keep things similar between the first squad and the second squad. We're also going to have a third squad known as the reserve team, which is going to be all of my very young and untalented players who I hope to grow throughout the season. But the only games they're going to be playing is the Coupe de Ligue game. So this is a little experiment. I want to see how they do in that competition, that domestic competition, and whether they would get through to the final and win the trophy. And if they do, that would just be absolutely ridiculous, because they're all very poor players, you know, just coming out of the youth academy, and I just want to grow them naturally like I normally do with my FIFA games. And instead of using the EA's new feature of training, I mean, I should be using that really to grow my players a lot faster, but I'm pretty old-fashioned, so you can't really blame me. So I'm going to save that right there, and I believe that is it for the squad. Now for the long part of the squad report, guys. I did promise you in the previous episode that I would show a squad report in September. I would like to make that a thing for every season. Squad report in the beginning of September and in the beginning of February. So straight after the transfer windows, I think would be fair. Maybe even a third one at the end of the year. We're just going to have to see. But let's just have a look at this squad report really quickly. Areola's got a +1 in overall, so he's now 75 at 25 years of age. He's in good form and he's happy. Valued at $5,500,000. So the man is growing. He is a great second team player, and I have no plans to sell him in the future. Then we've got our youth player, Christian Echeverria, who I did sign from the free agents, I believe. We are currently paying him... no, this is not the player I was talking about. I'm talking about somebody else who I'll get to very shortly. So 57 overall, 19 years old, okay form and happy. And as you can see, he is not growing. Diego Alves, my #1 goalkeeper, 33 years old, 85 overall. Okay form, content morale. He's playing a little bit slow at the moment. He was phenomenal last season. I'm still going to believe in him, and I'm hoping he's going to be astronomical throughout season 4. So best of luck to him, but unfortunately he's not growing. Courtois has been sent to Valencia on loan for 2 years. Now this guy right here has the potential to be the world's greatest goalkeeper. So I didn't want to sell him off just because Diego Alves only has about 2 seasons left in him. So when he goes, Courtois can take his place in that first team role. He's okay, he's content. He's valued at $42 million and he's 86 overall at 26 years of age. Then we've got Gaetan Haller, 55 overall, 18 years old. Okay form, happy morale. So what I do, guys, in the squad report, I talk about their overall age, form and morale, and sometimes their value. And I also tell you whether or not the man is growing. Now, if I don't see that overall rating with a +1, +2 or whatever, then I transfer from status to attributes to see if I can see in the physical, mental, technical, or even goalkeeping attributes if there's any +1s or +2s. And I can see right now in the technical attributes area that there are some +1s and 2s, and he is growing, but not as good as he could be. So Hugo Mallo, 83 +1 overall, 27 years old. Okay form, content morale, and he's on loan at Borussia Dortmund. Daniel Rugani, 80 overall, 24 years old, good form, content morale, valued at $20 million with no growth. Alessio Romagnoli, 78 overall, 23 years old, good form, happy morale, $12 million in value, and he is growing. Mats Hummels, 88 overall, 29 years old, poor form, happy morale, valued at $43 million. Now, at first I thought this player was a glitched player because I did sign him in Season 2 in the January transfer window on a pre-contract, and he came to us, or apparently he was supposed to come to us in Season 3. And what had happened is he went to Juventus instead. I thought, this dickhead, what's he doing? And I couldn't do anything with him. I couldn't put him on my squad because he wasn't actually there, but he did belong to me. So I tried to release him from his contract after trying to loan him out or sell him, and it just wasn't happening. Every time I released him from his contract, I'd get the money for it, or I'd spend money, and his name just wouldn't go away. So all of a sudden, one of my scouts turned Mats Hummels up as a free agent, and then I had the capability of signing him. So here he is now, officially mine, and I'm able to use him. I think he's going to be PSG's next captain. He's in the lineup for the captaincy because on his status, as you can see, he's a leader of men. So a leader of men, to me, deserves to be the captain. And as you can see, he is growing, but very slowly. Dale Wilson, another youth player, 73 overall, 19 years old. Happy morale, okay form, valued at $6 million. An exciting prospect. Is this the guy I was talking about? Yeah, this is the guy I was signed on free agents. He's English, but we're paying him $45,000 a week. A youth player, that kind of money is ridiculous. But he is an exciting prospect, so I am looking forward to seeing how Dale advances in growth throughout his career. Lucas Hassan, 49 +2 overall, 17 years old, okay form, happy morale, valued at $80,000. Thiago Silva, our captain, 85 overall, 33 years old, okay form, happy morale, valued at $22 million. He at the moment has one match ban from the domestic competition, which because he earned himself a red card. So let's hope he doesn't go back to his bad boy days. Nicolas Soulé on loan at Fiorentina. 84 overall, 22 years old. Okay form, content morale, valued at $37 million, and he is growing. Marquinhos on loan at West Ham, 83 overall, 24 years old. Okay form, content morale, $26.5 million in value, and the man is growing. Lucas Digne, 78 overall, 25 years old. Okay form, happy morale, valued at $9.5 million. He is not growing. Fabio Coentrao, arguably one of my best players in Season 3. I did give him a pay rise for his phenomenal gameplay. He is 87 overall, 30 years old. Excellent form, happy morale, and he's valued at $34 million and slowly growing. Benjamin Stambouli, I did give him a second chance. I was this close in putting him on the transfer list, but he is going to be alongside Rabiot in the second squad of this season. So hopefully he does himself justice and proves to me that he is the man for the job. 79 overall, 28 years old, okay form, happy morale, valued at $10 million with no growth. Johan Rivieres, 55 plus 1 overall, 17 years old, okay form, happy morale, valued at $180,000. Blaise Matuidi, he's on loan at Sunderland, 87 overall, 31 years old, okay form, content morale, $31.5 million in value with no growth. Romain Hebron, 73 overall, 24 years old, good form, happy morale, $4 million in value. He is growing. Gareth Bale, our most recent signing, cost us $90 million, and Javi Martinez from Real Madrid. 90 overall, 29 years old, okay form, happy morale, and he's valued at $75.5 million. He also has a one-match ban in the European competition, and he is slowly growing. Ian Robben, 90 overall, 34 years old, one of the world's best right midfielders. He's in okay form, happy morale, $35 million in value. Unfortunately, as you can see there in his mental attributes, he is decreasing in his aggression. So he's becoming a bit more frail now, so he'll be a little bit easier to knock around on that pitch. But the man has still got talent, so we can't knock him. Stefan Barr, 50 plus 1 overall, 17 years old, okay form, happy morale, $90,000 in value. Another youth player of mine. Adrien Rabiot, 78 overall, 23 years old, good form, happy morale, $11.5 million in value, and he's slowly growing. Luka Modric, 88 overall, 32 years old, excellent form, happy morale, $43 million in value. He is also a recent arrival from Real Madrid for free. I am looking forward to his progression in his career, and I do hope for the best. As for his growth, he is slowly growing. Yuri Tillemans, 82 plus 1 overall, 21 years old, has potential to be special, and this guy does. He is going to be absolutely phenomenal. He's going to reach those 90s. Mark my words. He could quite possibly be the future greatest midfielder of all time. Good form, content morale, $34.5 million in value. Abdou Akbar Akpro, that is a right tongue twister right there. 50 plus 2 overall. 18 years old, okay form, happy morale, $90,000 in value. Matthew Nanizeyamo, please do not ask me to pronounce that again. 48 plus 1 overall, 16 years old, okay form, happy morale, with a value of $80,000. Another youth player of mine. Yaya Toure, unfortunately, the man is too old now to be in the squad. 35 years old. My policy strictly says if you're 35 years old and do not have an overall of 88 and above, you are out of the squad. But I couldn't sell him. this summer. So he's going to have a contract expiry of 10 months. So hopefully in a January transfer window, we could sell him. If not, we're just going to have to let him go and lose out in profit of the value he is worth. Good form, content morale, 83, -1 overall at 35 years of age. And you can see there in these mental attributes, he is dropping drastically. Marco Verratti, he's on loan at Roma at the moment, 87 +1 overall, 25 years old. Okay form, content morale with value of $50.5 million. Paul Pogba, he's on loan at Watford. Now, guys, I just want to stop you right there for a second, because what I can't seem to grasp, when I did mention this with my mate a little bit earlier, is Paul Pogba. Now, the man is getting paid at PSG $300,000 a week. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I cannot imagine a team like Watford, who, I mean, I don't know a lot about football, guys, so you can correct me if I am wrong, but a team like Watford being able to afford a player like Paul Pogba, I could never see it happening. But this is a game after all, so I don't really take it too seriously. But, you know, if there was ever a team that could afford his wages and have him out on loan, it'll be the teams like Chelsea, Manchester City, or even Manchester United, because that's where Paul Pogba originally came from, born and bred. So it would be nice to see him back in that squad. But yeah, 92 +1 overall. The guy's a beast. 25 years old, valued at $95 million. Okay form, content morale. Ivan Perisic has a special something. 82 overall, 29 years old. Okay form, happy morale, and valued at $22 million. The man is not growing. James Rodriguez, one of my best players. He's on loan at Aston Villa, yet another club who I could not see affording Rodriguez's wages. He's 92 +1 overall, 27 years old, valued at $103 million. That's crazy. Definitely the most expensive player I have on my squad, but with an okay form and content morale. Next up, we've got Philip Coutinho, 88 overall, 26 years old, okay form, content morale with $66 million in value. He's on loan at FC Bayern, our European rivals. So I did feel a little bit uncomfortable about that at first, especially since they're in the Champions League. But I figured if I don't send him away to any club, then he's going to be yet another player on my squad who I couldn't send away out on loan, who may quite potentially become miserable because of the lack of gameplay he may have received, since there's just not enough room on the squad for him. He is growing very, very slowly, only in the ball control technical attributes. So I do hope he grows a little bit more. Then we've got Jean-Kevin Augustin, 71 overall, 21 years old, poor form, very happy. $3.4 million, showing great potential, and that he is. Look at him growing in the technical attributes. Then we've got Florian Niakate, 55 +1 overall, 17 years old, happy form, happy form, I mean okay form with happy morale. Lucas, he's been loaned out to FC Schalke. That is one of the reasons why we received Gareth Bale with all that money. So Lucas can get loaned out, Robin can stay in the squad, and Gareth Bale could be in that right wing role. Lucas is 83 overall, 26 years old, valued at $30 million. Okay form, content morale, and he is very slowly growing. Then we've got Jean-Christophe Baerbeck. We are on the strikers now, guys, so we're almost there. So please be a little bit more patient with me. I promise we will get through to the next conversation in a bit. 75 overall, 25 years old, good form, happy morale, valued at $5.5 million. The man is not growing, unfortunately. Carlos Tevez, another recent signing for free from Boca Juniors in this summer's transfer window. 87 overall, 34 years old, okay form, content morale, valued at $26 million. Is the man growing? No. Karim Benzema, arguably our best striker in the squad, 89 +1 overall, 30 years old, excellent form, happy morale, $62 million in value. The guy is a beast. He was absolutely brilliant in Season 3. I gave him a pay rise. He definitely deserved it, and I do hope he will still be able to create magic in Season 4. Klaus-Jan Huntelaar, I completely forgot about this dude. He is retiring at the end of the season. I never really got to use him at all. He was simply just one of those players. He was just one of those players, and Card Chuckle just made me laugh, guys. He just went, for fuck's sake, you have a shit ton of players. Card Chuckle, that makes me laugh, man, and I do apologise, dude. I am almost there. Thank you for being so patient, and I promise we will progress. Do not forget, each episode is about 45 minutes long, and if we're still on the same month, we turn it into parts. I like to have my episodes at, like, you know, every month on the FIFA game, not in real life. But yeah, so that's the way I like to do it, just to create my series a little bit shorter, rather than what it used to be like with the much many more episodes in season 1 and season 2. But coming back to Klaus-Jan Huntelaar, he is going to be retiring. I wish I could get rid of him, but there was nothing I could do. The man is too old now, 80 overall, at 35 years of age. Okay form, happy morale at 8 million in value. The man is decreasing, and you can see it right there. Wissam Ben Yedder, 81 plus 1 overall, 28 years old. He's on loan at Athletic Bilbao. Okay form, content morale, valued at $20 million. Hervin on gender, 77 overall, 23 years old, my left winger in the second squad. He's got okay form and he's happy morale, valued at $10 million. Unfortunately, he's not growing. And then we have one of the greatest players of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo, 94 overall, 33 years old, excellent form, happy morale, $71.5 million in value. He came to us from Real Madrid for free. I'm absolutely pleased he's here, and he is still growing in the technical stats despite his age. It will be very depressing to see him drop. Selin Rivieres, 51 plus 1 overall, 18 years old, valued at $100,000. Okay form, happy morale, another member of my youth squad. Neymar, 91 overall, 26 years of age, okay form, content morale, $95.5 million in value. Recently arrived from Barcelona for free. Definitely an exceptional player and somebody I'm looking forward to playing with. And unfortunately, he's only growing just a little bit. And that is it, guys. The squad report is done. I bet you're thinking, thank fuck. I am so sorry. But Card Chuckle has just said, Athletic Bilbao, they can only buy Basque-only players. Basque-only players? Basque-only players? Fuck yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right about that, Card Chuckle. I don't really understand though what you're trying to say. They can only buy Basque-only players. What do you mean? Let's go back to... Who went to Athletic Bilbao? I can't... Ah, right. Where's he from? France. Oh, never mind. But yeah, we've done the squad report, guys, and now I'm going to take you to the Global Transfer Network. So we do have 5 scouts currently scouting in England, Spain, France, Germany, and Italy. Now, off camera, I looked at hiring a new scout, and we got Laurent Casmi from Belgium. 5-star experience, 5-star judgment. That is exactly what I need in my team. I only ask for the best, and that gives me 6 scouts at the ready. Now, I changed my instructions from world-class 0 to 5 years, from world-class 0 to 5 years to world-class contract remaining 0 to 1 year. I'm looking for not only first-team quality players with a contract remaining of 12 months and under, but also world-class players. So that is that. So we've covered 2 topics in one go. And now we're going to move on to the next subject, the finances, guys. You can see I am filthy rich. It is absolutely ridiculous. I've got a transfer budget of $249,986,960, and all that money is being saved for the January transfer window when I pursue world-class material. And we have a wage budget of $534,160, so that is at the ready if any player wants to start some shit. So we've covered finances, guys, but now let me introduce to you my long-ass short list. Now, don't worry, I've just gone through the squad report, so I am definitely not going to go through this large list of shortlisted players, guys. All these players, at least 98% of these players, have a contract remaining of 12 months and under, or in this case, if you quickly have a look, 10 months and under. Now, please don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be able to sign all of these players, but at least this gives you a brief idea of the kind of players that I'm going for this January transfer window. I want to quickly take you to my top 3 targets. Luis Suarez is somebody who I'm definitely going to sign. Where is that man? There he is, Lionel Messi, and you can see it right there, 10 months remaining. I tried to grab him last season in a January transfer window. He wasn't having none of it, but this time, guys, I'm going out in full force, and if it takes offering him $5 million a week, I will offer him $5 million a week. It's got to happen. I've been trying for all these years. Okay, that's a little bit dramatic, not years, but I've been trying for quite a long time to buy Lionel Messi on FIFA 16, and it's never worked. I've almost tried everything, and I'm running out of ideas. If I can't get him this January, then I'm just going to have to cheat in another career mode and kind of transfer him before the season even starts. But that would probably be really annoying for you guys, and you guys probably won't like that at all. But the third and final target, guys, is Manuel Neuer. I definitely love this goalkeeper. He's the greatest goalkeeper in the world today, in my opinion. You know, obviously tying up that #1 spot with David De Gea, of course. But yeah, in FIFA, I definitely want to grab him. 32 years old. He's still got like 3 seasons left in him. But those are my top 3 targets, unless you guys say otherwise. Always interested to hear your input, but this is my game after all, so I am the one who's going to make the final call and the final say in the end. But I don't mean to make that sound rude or anything, guys. Just don't get me wrong. I always do take your advice into account, especially the likes of Carchuckle Jesper and Luco HD, who have been contributing to this series for a while. But I just wanted to show you my shortlist, so if you guys wanted to pause and have a look, you are more than welcome to. But now to my sell players section. Now, Yaya Toure is the only player that is on the transfer list, simply because he's too old now. But it's not like he's retiring, so that's good news. So we're going to keep him on the transfer list and hopefully sell him in January. Now, if any team was smart, or if the EA system wasn't so fucked up, a club would just come along and snatch him for free without having to pay a single penny. But I'm hoping to glitch the game and get a club to give me a bit of money for him, but it's probably not going to happen because apparently EA have solved all those kind of issues. We're currently negotiating a new contract with Coutinho and Sule, but we're going to talk about that in just a little while. These are all the players I've loaned out. We've already spoke about that in the squad report. But yeah, I do have a very large squad. So as you can see, things can be quite difficult. Now that we've covered the sell player section, we are going to go over to the transfer negotiations, just to quickly remind you of how shit went down. So Ronaldo came to us for free. Rodriguez has gone to West Ham. Pogba has gone to Watford. Neymar came to us for free. Bale came to us from Real Madrid for $90 million, as well as Javi Martinez. Modric came to us for free. Mats Hummels came to us from the free agency, so we did have to pay for his wages, but that was absolutely fine. Coutinho's gone to FC Bayern. Tevez joined us for free from Boca Juniors. Verratti's gone to Roma. Matuidi has gone to Sunderland. Courtois has gone to Valencia for 2 years. We sold Schneider, guys. Finally sold him to FC Bayern. He's going to get a lot more game time there than he did at PSG, but what a player he was in our team. Sule has gone to Fiorentina. Jonas has finally been sold to Manchester United. Dani Alves has gone to Chelsea. Marquinhos has been loaned out to West Ham. Malo was loaned out to Borussia Dortmund. Lucas has been loaned out to Schalke. Danny got sold to Liverpool. Ben Yedder has been loaned out to Athletic Bilbao. Mertesacker was sold to Chelsea. So quite a couple of players. And then we have our 2 youth players who we signed from the free agency. So those were the successful negotiations, guys. I just wanted to show them to you. Now, let's talk about those contracts. Now, players that are going to have contracts of 10 months and under, were just these three: Sule, Torre and Coutinho. Now, Torre is too old now, so I'm not going to give him a new contract. Even though he's still worth a little bit of money, I just wanted to, see what happens in January. But I definitely offered Coutinho and Sule new contracts. I've given them the money they've wanted, and I've given them a couple of more years than what they asked for, and haven't specified a role. So we're still awaiting for their reply. Now that that's been covered, we're going to go to the youth staff, guys. I've only got the one who's currently created a scouting network in England this time. At first it was French players, now we're scouting English players. I am English myself, so I'm definitely going to go for those English players. And unfortunately, I'm not going to hire any other new youth scouts, because there's just nobody good enough. No one with 5-star experience or 5-star judgment, not like my Wout Meijer from the Netherlands. So that covers that, but let me take you to the youth academy and even see if there's anybody who has the potential to join our squad. We've got Che Nelson-Addy, between 73 and 93 potential. Joe Shaw, potential of 62 and 86. Patrice Maupay is definitely a man I want. This guy is a beast. Look at him, 15 years old, height 4'9", such a short dude. Weighs ever so little at 130 pounds, left-footed with potential between 90 and 94. That is incredible. What a snatch, guys, that would be. I'm waiting for him to be 16 years old so I can add him to my reserve squad and have a complete squad right there and then. We could always get Joe Shaw, but I really want Maupay. I really, really want him. And then there's Zavon last, who's got potential of between 72 and 92. So a lot of good potential right there, guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else happens in the future. But finally, the final topic to talk about, guys, is what's going to be happening this month. We are not going to cover all of these in this episode. I'm going to end the episode as soon as I show you what's going to be happening in September. We will be straight off the bat in the next episode of September Part 2, taking on Lille, then Lion Eyes, then we go to the Champions Cup against Zenit, then Stade Rennais, then Troyes, and then Stade de Reims. So a very jam-packed September, so please do not go too far. I'm going to end the episode there. I'm your boy Millsy-saurus. This is my FIFA 16 PSG Career Mode Season 4 episode September. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm so sorry it was a bit of a lengthy episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Above all else, have a fantastic rest of your day, guys, and I will see you next time. Take care and goodbye.